Finger Minutiae Record, Finger Image Record, FMR-FIR Modality. Why in news? Recently, the Unique Identification Authority of India, UIDAI, has rolled out an in-house artificial intelligence machine learning AI/ML technology-based finger minutiae record, finger image record, FMR-FIR modality. This technology, specifically designed to enhance Aadhaar-enabled payment system AePS transactions, aims to tackle fraudulent activities, including the misuse of cloned fingerprints. What is finger minutiae record, finger image record, FMR-FIR modality? About the FMR-FIR modality is an advanced AI/ML-based technology developed by the UIDAI to bolster security measures within the Aadhaar-enabled payment system AePS. Key features and functionality: hybrid authentication. FMR-FIR combines the analysis of two distinct components, finger minutiae and finger image, to establish the authenticity of fingerprint biometrics during Aadhaar authentication. Liveness detection. The modality's primary function lies in assessing the liveness of the captured fingerprint. It can differentiate between a genuine, live finger and a cloned or fake fingerprint, thereby preventing spoofing attempts. Real-time verification. FMR-FIR operates in real time, providing instant verification results during the authentication process. Robust fraud prevention. By detecting and deterring the use of cloned fingerprints, the technology significantly reduces the risk of AePS frauds. Rationale and implementation. Addressing emerging threats. The emergence of fraudulent activities involving cloned fingerprints necessitated the development of a sophisticated solution to safeguard AePS transactions. Payment-related frauds have surged in India, with over 700,000 reported in FY21. The figures dramatically escalated to nearly 20 million in FY23, according to data from supervised entities of the Reserve Bank of India, RBI. While many cases go unreported due to limited awareness about cyber frauds, instances of financial frauds remain significant. Silicone-based fraud. Instances of unauthorized money transfers through fake fingerprints created using silicone prompted the need for a more secure and technologically advanced approach. Integration of AI/ML. The integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies enhances the accuracy and effectiveness of fingerprint authentication. Advantages and implications. UIDAI's FMR-FIR technology bolsters security, mitigates vulnerabilities, boosts transaction confidence, and exemplifies technological innovation for societal welfare. What is the Unique Identification Authority of India? Statutory authority. The UIDAI is a statutory authority established on 12 July 2016 by the Government of India under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, following the provisions of the Aadhaar Act 2016. The UIDAI was initially set up by the Government of India in January 2009 as an attached office under the aegis of the Planning Commission. Mandate. The UIDAI is mandated to assign a 12-digit unique identification (UID) number, Aadhaar, to all the residents of India. As of 31 October 2021, UIDAI had issued 131.68 crore Aadhaar numbers. What is AePS? The AePS is a bank-led model that allows online interoperable financial transactions at point of sale, POS, or micro-ATMs through the business correspondent (BC) of any bank using the Aadhaar authentication. It was taken up by the National Payments Corporation of India (NPCI), a joint initiative of the Reserve Bank of India (RBI) and the Indian Banks Association (IBA). The AePS is meant to provide easy and secure access to banking services for the poor and marginalized sections of society, especially in rural and remote areas. It eliminates the need for OTPs, bank account details, and other financial information. Transactions can be carried out with only the bank name, Aadhaar number, and captured fingerprint during Aadhaar enrollment. UPSC Civil Services Examination, Previous Year Questions, PYQs. Sub-Categorisation of OBCs. Why in news? The Justice G. Rohini headed Commission for the Sub-Categorisation of Other Backward Classes, OBC, caste groups submitted its long-awaited report to the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment after nearly 6 years of work. The details of the recommendations have not been made public yet, and the government is expected to deliberate on the report before any implementation. What are the terms of reference of the Rohini Commission? About the Commission was set up on 2 October 2017 under Article 340 of the Constitution, President's power to appoint a commission to investigate the conditions of the backward classes. Terms of reference. Examine the inequitable distribution of benefits among OBCs listed in the central list. Propose a scientific approach and parameters for subcategorization within OBCs. Identify and classify the respective castes or communities into their respective subcategories. Study the entries in the central list of OBCs and recommend corrections for repetitions, ambiguities, inconsistencies, and errors in spelling or transcription. What is the need for subcategorization of OBCs? OBCs get 27% reservation in central government jobs and educational institutions, but it is perceived that only a few dominant caste groups among them benefit from this quota. In 2018, the Commission analyzed the data of 1.3 lakh central government jobs and OBC admissions to central higher education institutions over the preceding years, revealing that 97% of benefits went to 25% of OBC castes. Around 983 OBC communities, 37% of the total, had zero representation in jobs and educational institutions, highlighting the need for subcategorization. Subcategorization aims to create quotas within the 27% reservation to provide more opportunities for historically underrepresented and crowded out OBC communities. What is the historical evolution of the OBC reservation status in India? The journey began with the establishment of the Kalilkar Commission in 1953, which marked the first instance of recognizing backward classes beyond the scheduled castes, SCs, and scheduled tribes, STs, on a national level. In 1980, the Mandal Commission report estimated that the OBC population constituted 52% and identified 1,257 communities as backward. To address the inequity, it suggested an increase in the existing quotas, which were previously applicable only to SC cent, from 22.5% to 49.5%, extending the reservation to include OBCs. Following these recommendations, the central government implemented the reservation policy, reserving 27% of seats in union civil posts and services for OBCs under Article 16(4). This policy was also enforced in central government educational institutions under Article 15(4). In 2008, the Supreme Court intervened and directed the central government to exclude the creamy layer, advanced sections, among the OBCs from benefiting from the reservation policy, ensuring that it reaches the most disadvantaged. In 2018, 102nd Constitution Amendment Act granted constitutional status to the National Commission for Backward Classes, NCBC. This elevated the NCBC from its previous status as a statutory body under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, giving it more authority and recognition in safeguarding the interests of backward classes, including the OBCs. UPSC Civil Services Examination, Previous Year Question. Offshore Areas Mineral Development and Regulation Amendment Bill 2023. Why in news? The Rajya Sabha recently passed the Offshore Areas Mineral Development and Regulation Amendment Bill 2023, aiming to introduce crucial reforms in India's offshore mining sector. This amendment seeks to modify the existing Offshore Areas Mineral Development and Regulation Act 2002 to enable the auction as a method of allocating operating rights in offshore areas. What are the key features of the amendment bill? Introduction of auction regime. Two types of operating rights, production lease and composite license, to be granted through auction by competitive bidding exclusively to the private sector. Operating rights to be granted to PSUs in the mineral-bearing areas reserved by the central government. PSUs will be exclusively granted operating rights for atomic minerals. Atomic minerals include mainly minerals containing uranium, thorium, rare metals, with niobium, tantalum, lithium, beryllium, titanium, zirconium, and rare earth elements, REEs, as well as beach sand minerals. Fixed period for production lease. The provision for renewal of production leases has been removed. The production lease period is set at 50 years, aligning with the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957, MMDR Act. Area acquisition limit. A limit has been imposed on the total area one entity can acquire offshore. The maximum acquisition area is restricted to 45 minutes latitude by 45 minutes longitude for any mineral or prescribed group of associated minerals under one or more operating rights. Non-lapsable offshore areas mineral trust. To ensure funds for exploration, disaster relief, research, and benefits to affected parties, a non-lapsable offshore areas mineral trust will be established. The trust will be funded by an additional levy on mineral production, not exceeding one-third of the royalty, with the exact rate prescribed by the central government. Ease of business and timelines. Provisions for easy transfer of composite license or production lease. Timelines for commencement of production and dispatch after execution of production lease to ensure timely start of production. Revenues. Royalty, auction premium, and other revenues from mineral production in offshore areas will accrue to the Government of India. What is the need for such an amendment bill? Lack of activity in offshore areas. Despite the enactment of the Offshore Areas Mineral Development and Regulation Act 2002, there has been no mining activity in offshore areas. This indicates a lack of interest or effective utilization of the vast maritime resources available to India. The amendment bill seeks to address the underlying issues and incentivize exploration and mining in these offshore areas. Discretion and lack of transparency. The current Act suffers from the problem of discretion and lacks transparency in the allocation of operating rights for mining in offshore areas. The amendment bill aims to introduce a transparent auction mechanism to allocate operating rights, inspired by the successful amendments to the MMDR Act for onshore areas. Harnessing maritime resources. India holds a unique maritime position with an exclusive economic zone, EEZ, covering over 2 million square kilometers, rich in recoverable resources. Geological Survey of India, GSI, estimates significant reserves of lime mud, construction-grade sand, heavy mineral placers, phosphorite, and polymetallic ferromanganese nodules and crusts in various offshore areas. However, the potential of these resources remains largely untapped. The amendment bill seeks to harness the full potential of these maritime resources to support India's high-growth economy by promoting exploration and mining through the participation of both the public and private sectors. Conclusion. By introducing auction as the method of allocation of operating rights, the bill aims to promote transparency, attract private sector participation, and optimize India's maritime resources to support its economic growth ambitions. This reform aligns with India's vision to harness its vast maritime resources while ensuring sustainable and responsible mining practices.